mumps, pertussis. These are just a few of the terrible diseases that can affect your children if they are not vaccinated. I always have been and always will be an advocate for vaccines, and that's not just because I'm going into healthcare. While some of you do not plan on having children in the future, it's still important information for you to know so that you can better protect others and yourself. So today I'm going to talk about the outbreak of preventable diseases, explain reasons people are hesitant to vaccinate, and why it's so important to vaccinate. So first I'm going to talk about some of the recent outbreaks. In an article from Capital Times, Dr. Dipesh Navsaria wrote that in the year 2000, the measles were no longer declared endemic, meaning they were not a problem anymore. Flash forward to 2019, and there are 629 cases of the measles in the United States, and the number is still rising. Sarah Novak wrote in an article that measles are a highly contagious viral disease causing fever and a red, painful rash. You may be thinking that doesn't sound that bad, but they can lead to serious complications like pneumonia and encephalitis, which is swelling of your brain. This can also prove fatal to anyone, but especially children. I'm going to show you a picture of measles, so if you don't want to see it, look away. But this is what measles look like on babies. In a medical journal published by Elizabeth Zaros, she stated that in 2016 there were 6,366 reported cases of the mumps, compared to just 229 cases in 2012. This is another highly contagious disease that causes swelling of the salivary glands in the face. The symptoms can range anywhere from a fever to not being able to swallow properly. This can also lead to serious complications like encephalitis, hearing loss, and meningitis, which is swelling of your brain and spinal cords. And here's a picture of mumps. So as you can see, the left side of his face is really, really swollen. Ms. Zaros also stated that between 10,000 and 40,000 cases of pertussis are reported each year. Pertussis is whooping cough. This also causes about 20 deaths. It's very contagious, and it's an infection of the upper respiratory tract, and it can cause vomiting, seizures, and episodes of absent breathing. So how do we protect our precious little bundles of joy? Vaccinations prevent these diseases, and many more. Dr. Nicola Mercier stated that measles are very rare in vaccinated children. According to the Journal of Pure and Applied Microbiology, the reason that these outbreaks have become more prevalent now is because of the anti-vaccination movement. This movement causes false information to be spread and fear is created. Today I'm going to debunk some of these claims that they've said why you should not vaccinate your kids. So now that we've discussed the current issues, let's move on to the myths regarding vaccinations. Myth number 1, vaccines cause autism. I'm sure we've all heard the claim that vaccinations cause autism, and most of us have heard that it doesn't. But how can we be sure? In 2013, the CDC said that scientists looked at the ingredients and, quote, no links have been found between autism and vaccinations. They studied kids with and without autism, both of whom had received this exact same vaccination when they were young. They noticed that the number of antigens in their body did not differ, meaning there was no different of a reaction in either person, so it could not have caused autism. In another article published by Mark Barna titled Autism Spectrum Disorder, this whole myth came about when an angry scientist wrote a paper claiming that vaccines give your kid autism. He later retracted the paper and his medical license got revoked. Myth number 2, vaccines make you sick with the disease that they're trying to prevent. Vaccines are not 100% effective, just like no drug is 100% effective on every single person. You cannot get sick from a dead virus. It's not possible. There's a slight possibility you could get sick with a live virus, but it's very, very, very rare. When you feel sick after getting a vaccine, it could either be a side effect from the vaccine, which is just your body trying to build immunity and fight off the disease, or it can be the fact that you haven't gotten a booster shot. The Robert Koch Institute points out that we need booster shots to prolong and sustain immunity. If we get sick, it's either a user error, like not following up on your booster shots, or it's a side effect of the disease. It's not actually causing the disease. And myth number 3, there are toxic ingredients in vaccines that will kill your kids. There is some truth to this. There are toxic ingredients in vaccines, but they will not kill anybody. The CDC says that people are exposed to these chemicals and more every day at a higher amount than in a vaccine. I'm sure some of you have heard that mercury, aluminum, and formaldehyde are found in vaccines. This is true for some of them. But did you also know that mercury is found in milk and seafood? And formaldehyde is found in car exhaust, cough drops, mouthwash, and carpet. Aluminum, the daily average of aluminum is 30 to 50 milligrams, and in a vaccine it's 0.125 to 0.625 per dose, or about 1% of the daily intake. So now that we've discussed the myths, we can move on to the importance of vaccinations. In an article published by Novak, vaccines are basically antibodies injected for immunity. So right now I'm going to share some stories of people that had a change of heart with vaccines. This is Kristen Karsmaros. In 2019, Tara Law wrote in Time of a mom who had a change of heart. She had 3 kids and she did not vaccinate her kids for 15 years. She had a lot of concerns regarding vaccines and no one would sit down and take the time to talk to her about and address her concerns. So she didn't want to do something that could potentially harm her child. And I understand that, because if you don't understand what's going on, you don't want to put them at risk. She finally sat down with a doctor who would listen to her, and he addressed her concerns, and she came to the conclusion that vaccinating her children would be the best option for them. And in light of the measles outbreak, she is quoted by saying, "I'm glad now that I don't have to worry about my family contracting it or giving it to someone else, it being the measles." Dr. Navsaria also told the story of Roald Dahl's daughter. So in 1950, Roald Dahl's oldest daughter, Olivia, was 7 years old when she caught the measles. He stated that they thought she was getting better, but her motor skills were starting to decrease. And she said that she felt really tired, and within an hour she was unconscious, and within 12 hours she was dead. She died of encephalitis, which is swelling of your brain due to measles. When addressing the risks of vaccines, he said, "I should think there would be more of a chance of your child choking to death on a chocolate bar than becoming seriously ill from a measles vaccine. So what on earth are you worrying about? It's really almost a crime to allow your child to go unimmunized." Measles, mumps, and pertussis are horrible diseases that you can contract if you are not vaccinated against them. Babies have lower immune systems, so we need to vaccinate them to protect them and people around them. Today I hope you learned about the outbreaks of diseases, some common myths, and why it's important to vaccinate. No one wants to see a sick child, so if it's preventable, what's stopping you? Thank you.